In today's news, 31 COVID-19 related deaths in the Virgin Islands. Active cases dropped to 584, 32 persons discharged, some 24 presently hospitalized.
We also see a local teacher revealing how low her salary is on Facebook. Education Minister is now saying that the ministry cannot raise compensation since it is public service and that falls under the governor's portfolio.
Honorable Natalio Wheatley shares updates on the Brandywine Bay Development and other district plans.
We also see rapid antigen testing now available at all major ports across the territory, and Honorable Mitch Turnbull responding to concerns shared by the health minister. On the international scene, CDC now requires masks even for indoor activities. We have all the details on today's edition of 284 News.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
A pleasant welcome, everyone. It is Wednesday, July 28, 2021. A beautiful day here in the Virgin Islands. My name is Javon Wilson.
And I'm Ron Grant. It is always a pleasure. We have a jam-packed newscast as per usual for you. Beginning, of course, Premier the Honorable Andrew Foy of the Virgin Islands rubbishes claims that government is doing nothing. He denies cronyism. In addition to that, still no assent to the Whistleblower Contractor General Acts, says the Premier. And the Premier also blames past governments, believe it or not, for needing political advisors. We look at the hospital staff who seek counseling after a high rate of COVID-19 deaths, says the CEO, and inadequate funding hindering the BVI's Financial Investigation Agency, says FIA Director Mr. Errol George.
Also within today's headlines, the Ministry of Health and Social Development has received an additional 3,040 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine from the United Kingdom. Now, the Minister for Health and Social Development, Honorable Carver Malone, said he was extremely pleased with the UK's commitment to making sure that the territory receives the supply of vaccines necessary to vaccinate the entire adult population. He said, and I quote, "This is important to us because our population has been adversely affected by the COVID-19 outbreak, which has claimed the lives of many of our loved ones and friends," end of quote.
Now beginning, viewers, on the local scene in a recent update provided last evening, July 27th, via an episode of the VIP Let's Talk, Minister for Health and Social Development, the Honorable Carvin Malone, stated that the territory presently has active cases of COVID-19, that's 584, with 31 COVID-19 related deaths. While the deaths have risen, the territory continues to see a significant number of recoveries. Malone also stated that all of the persons who were ever admitted to the COVID-19 unit at the Dr. D. Orlando Smith Hospital, only 2 have been vaccinated. To date, 32 persons have been discharged from the hospital, with an additional 24 still currently admitted with complications of COVID-19. Now, the data provided shows that of the 24 persons hospitalized, 2 persons are in the emergency room, 6 in the ICU, and 3 currently on ventilators. Honorable Malone also noted that all COVID-19 related deaths to date are unvaccinated persons. He said, and I quote, "These are cases of which we must be mindful because we don't want a nation who would become oblivious or debt is so commonplace that we feel as if it doesn't matter anymore." Jovan, with the very ravishing and painful deaths that the territories has seen and unfortunately continues to see, this update was as of last night and the number has risen to 31. However, we have seen a significant improvement as it pertains to recovery, and you and I are always about the small wins. We love highlighting the very positive. Absolutely. And I think this is a significant positive for the territory of the Virgin Islands.
Absolutely. Over 500 recoveries. The week before, 600. I think we're now down to over 500 cases. And again, a significant milestone. We have to remain focused on the positives. I think it really helps with mental health, and like you said, it is our imperative as journalists as well to ensure that we're sharing the good news.
Correct.
And of course, you had the opportunity to sit down with Dr. Vanterpool earlier
Dr. Elson Vanterpool, and I mean, his story is quite remarkable. When you look at a young professional of such who has been trained, born and raised in the Virgin Islands, went through the education system, went away, got his education, and is now working or has been working in the territory now for a number of years on the front line, a young professional. His story is quite heartwarming, it's powerful, helpful. And viewers, in case you missed that interview, we encourage you to check out our feature interview with Dr. Elson Vansipool on the front line fighting COVID-19.
And it was quite a remarkable insight into what happens behind the scenes, a lot of what we don't know about. Now, viewers, as we move right along, more local news. Now, a local teacher has taken to social media in what can be described as one of the most impassioned call for better wages, of course, for certified teachers. Now, despite acquiring a Master's of Arts in Learning and Teaching coupled with years of experience in the profession, Tiffany Lewis-Bruley candidly highlighted how grossly underpaid teachers are, further citing her personal pay slips as proof. Ms. Lewis-Bruley said, and I quote, "I have the educational qualifications you see and 8 years experience. I go home with $2,536 a month. My mortgage is $2,510 a month," end of quote. Viewers, she also spoke to the pains of living in an inflated economy where the minimum wage remains at $6, and further highlighted how other government positions that requires master's level qualifications are paid substantially more than teachers. Ms. Lewis-Bruley said, and I quote, "As a community where minimum wage is $6 per hour and a carton of milk is $10, we must see that this cannot be sustainable. Let us not look at this as an individual struggle, but as a community struggle. The majority of us cringe upon the thought of grocery shopping, much less anything else. I live in a 2-income household, and I cannot imagine how single parents make it. It is impossible. I heard recently that in order to make sure the BVI public is getting value for money and to ensure that positions were being run efficiently, assistance needed to be brought in. These positions were brought in under specific criteria, such as those with a master's degree had to have a certain level of experience, and those with a bachelor's degree had to have even more experience. These individuals were being paid at the low end about $5,000 a month, and at the high end about $10,000 per month before allowances and or their benefits, end of quote, viewers. Now, the social media thread, which amassed over 200 comments, also showed other teachers standing in solidarity with Lewis-Bruley in the call for betterment. Within the comments, it was also revealed that some educators are actually paid less than the amount highlighted by Lewis-Bruley. One teacher said, and I quote, "What's even more sad, it has other teachers, making less than the amount mentioned above, but we still have to use our own money to provide basic things. Every year is always the same story. BVI, love we say," end of quote. Now, some residents have also openly called on teachers to unite and take to the streets to protest against these stagnant wages. One resident said, and I quote, "Let's not only put it on social media, but also take it to the streets. If all the teachers boycott teaching until the system gets fixed, the government will step up. They need the educators, period," end of quote. Now, viewers, upon reading this thread, our newsroom reached out to Education Minister and former teacher as well, Dr. the Honorable Natalio D. Wheatley. And while he did say they are, as a government, pushing for better wages, ultimately, he says that decision lies with the governor's office. Honorable Wheatley said, and I quote, "The ministry cannot increase teachers' compensation. The governor, via the deputy governor's office, is responsible for public service, including teachers' compensation. Cabinet has decided on a salary review for the entire public service. I specifically asked for special consideration for teachers in that review. This is the process that must happen for any adjustments to salaries for teachers," he later added. Now, in speaking with the Deputy Governor's Office, Mr. David Archer Jr., our newsroom was told, and I quote, "A comprehensive review of all public service compensation has been approved by Cabinet, which will commence in the upcoming months," end of quote. Mr. Archer added that the review is also inclusive of teachers. Now, as we all know, over recent years, educators have verbally protested low salaries and insufficient school budgets that have prompted most teachers to buy their own classroom supplies. Notably, the pay gap referenced has been a core reason behind teacher shortages in the territory. It has also resulted in many trained BVI landers migrating overseas for better compensation and benefits, while underqualified teachers continue to take up vacant roles. Also, an open call has been made to the BVI Teachers Union to do more as it relates to the plight of educators territory-wide. Ron, certainly not a new conversation. We have seen predecessor governments, government in, government out, being petitioned to take care of the educators. And I mean, not just in the BVI, but across the world.
Across the region,
it seems to be a general consensus that teachers, educators who play such a pivotal and integral role in the development of our human resources are undercompensated. And I'm very happy to see that we live in an era where once we have an issue with something, it's not being kicked under the rug anymore. Persons are speaking out. And I don't think that these calls will fall upon deaf ears, whether it belongs to the responsibility of the government or the governor's office. I'm really happy to see Ms. Bruley in such a vulnerable position being able to express to what the reality is. And of course, teachers standing in solidarity with her.
And Jovan, I cannot agree with you more. I think it's about high time that persons who are under such immense pressure and facing such hardships when it comes to salary review in the public service, I think it's high time that they come to the forefront and speak about these issues. What you mentioned, which is absolutely true, this is not an age-old problem. This is not an administration problem. This is not a country problem. This is a country problem that educators both regionally and internationally face. But we have to look locally. And I think part of the frustration that comes from the general public with governments, whether it be the one that's in or the one before or coming, is that while they continue to pass the baton of responsibility, you heard the Honorable Minister say, oh, well, it's not our responsibility. Essentially, it's that of the governor, and the governor saying we're working on it. But campaigning wholeheartedly, this administration, on the interim of getting in, about increments, and the civil servants, not only teachers, are yet to see those increments. So if it's not your responsibility, then don't talk about it at all. Let the persons that are responsible for that aspect speak on it and give protocol. When you come to the forefront off the bat of an election and you say this is what we're going to do and this is what we're going to improve upon, and then you can't do it not only for teachers but others, and then you pass the responsibility on to others, I think that's where the general public begins to lose trust, and I think that's where we need to look at.
I don't think he can actually, in all actuality, say that it is not the government's responsibility at all.
And I'm glad you say that, because it's a pathetic cop-out, because at the end of the day, cabinet makes the decisions. But not only that, any minister, he's responsible for education. Someone else might be responsible for transportation and works. But it is your sole responsibility to take these mediums to the persons that would make the decisions and really rally for them. So if you're not rallying, Honorable Minister, and you're not having the conversations, then it's not going to be, it's really not going to happen.
Really, and I'm really happy again to see, teachers holding officials accountable in this regard. Now, we are still ahead. Honorable Natalio Wheatley shares updates on the Brandywine Development project and other district plans. And we now see rapid testing available at major ports across the territory. I know we've been long calling for this. It's finally here, and we have all the details right after this commercial break.
Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works. Brilliant Hands and Minds Tutoring Services. One-on-one tutorials in math and English, intense homework assistance, academic enrichment, school projects, effective communication and public speaking development, sign language for adults and children on Saturdays only. Registered with the Virgin Islands High School Certificate Program, Brilliant Hands and Minds can help you too. Offering intense curriculum-based training to help you or your loved ones get their high school diploma. It's time to make your family's education a #1 priority. Hurry, space is limited. Brilliant Hands and Minds Learning Center. We are the trained education professionals.
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. Now, rapid antigen testing is now officially part of the territory's COVID-19 screening process. This alternative coronavirus testing option was rolled out on Friday, July 23rd at the Rotang Ferry Terminal. Now, Minister for Health and Social Development, Honorable Carving Malone, was on site to witness the rollout and announced that he is happy with the territory and finally being able to offer a faster COVID-19 testing option. He said that he welcomes the implementation of rapid tests because it is a great addition to the current offering. He said, and I quote, "It will save lives, save hospitalizations, and save the anguish that families are going through," end of quote. The Minister for Health also announced that only approved antigen tests will be used by the ministry and by extension the BVI Health Services Authority. He said, and I quote, "We have a supply of antigen tests and we are going to administer them at the airport and at the seaports," end of quote. Now, in addition to these rapid tests, Honorable Malone said that the efforts are going to continue to make the arrival to the territory during COVID-19 seamless. Let's watch.
Yeah, this is our first set of antigen tests. Right. So we just wanted to run through the processes to exactly how it will go.
Right, so when guests arrive, you'll be checking it out on our counter, of course, at the socially distance. Yeah. When they check in, a determination will be made whether or not they're vaccinated, partially vaccinated, or fully vaccinated. Yeah. If you are fully vaccinated, you get a number. That number is going to be written on your test card. You're going to do a rapid antigen test. So then in 15 minutes time, you'll be informed of the result of your rapid antigen test. If you test negative, you're allowed to move through the process in Immigration and Customs. If you test positive, then you then have a PCR confirmation test done for you. If you come in and you are not fully vaccinated, that's partially or unvaccinated, you get a bottle written up with your name on it and you get PCR tested, which a result of which you'll get later.
Now, viewers, the rapid antigen tests being used at the ports of entry are the same being utilized as the ones in the USVI. The BVI's current stock of tests includes some that were gifted by the USVI and the United Kingdom, that is 15,000. The remaining quantity, 15,000, was purchased by the government of the BVI. Now, the United States Virgin Islands also sent COVID support personnel to the territory just last week to help with the laboratory and antigen testing. Ron, very, very good news for the territory as we continue to pivot our way forward. I know that one of the concerns we have, particularly since the USVI has now required that persons test within 48 hours before entry into the USVI from the BVI, the turnover has been significantly slow. Of course, our health facilities are overwhelmed,
yes.
But I'm very happy to see that we have this in place, especially for our fully vaccinated passengers.
Yes, it is indeed. I think it's about high time and it's in a step in the right direction. So we continue to wish our health professionals the very best, along with the Honorable Minister of Health and Social Development. Continuing on the local scene, in a recent meeting with the Brandywine Bay Committee, Deputy Premier and 7th District Representative, Dr. the Honorable Natalio Wheatley gave an update on the upcoming developments in the community, along with other projects for the district. Now, Honorable Wheatley had a discussion with the committee about the 2 proposed developments in Brandywine Bay. Various stakeholders, including, of course, the community, are being engaged. As plans take shape, more details will be made available, he said. Now, the district representative said the projects will create tremendous benefits for the community, such as raising the property value and make the area more attractive, adding it will empower the community through employment and investment opportunities. He said, and I quote, "We want to ensure that when Brandywine Bay develops, it does so in a structured way, one that we all can be proud of." Now, in addressing other District 7 matters, Honorable Wheatley spoke about plans for bush cutting, gut cleaning, and installation of additional speed bumps. The district representative also shared that the sewage project is ready to resume in August. The phase will run from Wilkes Point to Parakeeta Bay. That's, for those of you who don't know where Wilkes Point is, that's just after Parakeeta Bay as you turn the corner into Fat Hogs Bay in the area of Bouncer Bar. Regarding the recent COVID-19 positive cases, Honorable Wheatley said that the numbers have been decreasing and spoke about the government's vaccination drive as to a way to curb the new infections. Now, Honorable Wheatley also shared condolences to the committee on the passing of member Asha Gordon and other loved ones. Now, the district representative also congratulated the Brandywine Bay Committee for continuing its community spirit and for being progressive and creating, of course, a template for other subcommittees to be set up throughout the 7th District. To that end, Honorable Wheatley said that the subcommittees will encourage neighborliness and create an environment where residents can advocate on various matters in their respective areas. Now, the Brandywine Bay Committee was formed in 2019 by residents to help with the beautification of the community so both visitors and residents can enjoy. Current members include President Nikema Bell, Vice President Fin Fong Peters, Secretary Danelle Sylvester, Treasurer Krista Frett, and Public Relations Officer Hainsley Edwards. Now, Jovan, the Brandywine Bay project has been conversation for a very long time. The prior representative and just actually happens to be the minister, the former Minister for Natural Resources and Labor, Dr. Kedrick Pickering. That project began under his leadership and it proved to absolutely become nothing. It became more of an eyesore than anything to the residents. I see the Honorable Minister trying to pick it up. It's a bit slow. Of course, these times are very difficult, but I think the residents of the 7th District and the community at whole are so excited and want to see this project come to fruition.
Absolutely. And viewers, of course, we'll continue to keep you updated on that one. But still ahead of the break, Honorable Mitch Turnbull responding to Health Minister comments. And of course, new guidelines issued by CDC. Masks are now required indoors regardless of your vaccination status. We have all the details right after this break. Stick with us.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media at cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Viewers, welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Now on to a local story. The Honorable Member for the 2nd Electoral District, the Honorable Melvin Mitch Turnbull, has responded to what he considers and calls an attack on him and his constituents made by the Honorable Health Minister. Now, last evening, July 27th, the Honorable Health Minister pinpointed that the 2nd District, particularly calling out a number of areas from Mayaba to Chalwell Estate, and the list goes on, were among the others that were the least supported by the vaccination, and he said he wished that the district representative or more that could be done to encourage the persons of these communities to be vaccinated. In response to that, the Honorable Melvin Mitch Turnbull, in an interview held with myself prior today, had this to say. Take a look. Now, Minister, as stated in the intro, the Honorable Health Minister issued statements pertaining to the vaccination and what he calls the lack of encouragement to the respected areas. Those areas, of course, covered the entire 2nd District for which you are responsible. You issued a statement last evening, and I quote, "Good evening all. This government is trying its very best to distract the territory from the issues affecting the persons in the territory, and they have apparently now turned their target on me and the people of the 2nd District. I give you my word that I will not back down." Now, you elaborated a little bit more, but those are your words. I want to begin by asking you, do you believe that the recent statement by the Honorable Health Minister is a direct attack on you and your constituents?
Well, Ron, attack on me, I am fine with any attacks on me, because I know what the Bible says, that no weapon formed against me will prosper. But when you attack the people of the 2nd District, then I have a problem, because those are people that represent, those are people that entrusted me with the confidence and support to represent their needs and their concerns. And for the minister to be as careless and irresponsible as he has been to highlight the areas all in the 2nd District, stating basically referring that the 6,100 and something persons that are unvaccinated, still yet to be vaccinated, reside within these communities of the 2nd District is just disheartening. But Ron, not only is it disheartening, it's just more evidence of the way this government operates when you challenge them, when you speak out against them. But I'm not going to be deterred by the I would say just careless and irresponsible and disrespect for the people of these Virgin Islands, but specifically for the people of my community, many of whom have been out of work, many of whom are trying to uh, grieve the loss of their loved ones, and the minister sees it fit to try to launch this attack and target the people that I represent. Ron, it is not going to be accepted, it's not going to be tolerated, and that's why I spoke out. What I find
Now, viewers, in response to the additional claims on pinpointing the district, the Honorable Melvin Mitch Turnbull said that while the Honorable Minister for Health was giving statistics, he really wished that he would give specific numbers as it pertains to other aspects, such as unemployment, persons who are suffering from different ailments. So take a look.
what I find interesting is all of a sudden the minister has statistics and numbers to justify which areas are not vaccinated. But he's the minister responsible for health and social development. So since he has these information on vaccinated, does he also have the minutes or the numbers, sorry, as to how many persons within the same area of my community or the territory are suffering from obesity, are suffering from diabetes, are suffering from cancer? These are things under his permit, but he wants to play politics and play this continued divisive game in this territory at a time where it is most critical and people are looking for sound, fair, and adult responsible leadership.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. It is indeed unique that the Honorable Minister would specify those particular areas because, as we are aware, there are many other districts and villages in the BVI where persons may have not been vaccinated, but per his statements, the particular areas that have been described as lacking support for vaccination come from your district. I want to touch on the issue of vaccine and consensus because you have mentioned that many of the persons within your district suffer from varying conditions. What is the overall consensus of persons in your district regarding the vaccine?
Well, I didn't say, Ron, I just want to correct you. I didn't say
Okay.
that my people suffer from cancer and obesity. I'm saying since the minister comes with statistics stating that
Understood.
these people out of the territory, and he put forward a number that's saying over 6,000 persons, but it's targeted at the people in my district. Where are the same statistics that deal with obesity, that deal with cancer, that deals with people who are suffering from different ailments, that deals with families who are unable to provide for themselves and their children? Where are those statistics? Since he is so able to list out the areas in my community and try to highlight the people of the second district.
Viewers, that was the Honorable Melvin Mitch Turnbull, 2nd District Representative. Jovan, we are hearing from our opposition members more and more, and I think it's about high time that we heard from them.
Absolutely. Well, we hope to hear from them more, not so much on a reactionary basis, but of course taking the forefront as it relates to a lot of these issues. Viewers, before we wrap up, new news on the international level. We see the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, citing the transmissibility of the Delta variant of COVID-19 on Tuesday, recommending now that vaccinated individuals wear masks indoors in certain parts of the country, that is the U.S., of course, and that K-12 schools, adopt universal masking policies for students, visitors, staff, and teachers, regardless of their vaccination status. Now, the CDC reversal comes as the Delta variant has upended recovery timelines with its highly contagious nature and, of course, ability to evade vaccines, though people who are inoculated have still significant protection against the illness. The Federal Health Agency said fully vaccinated individuals living in places where there is a high or substantial COVID transmission should once again wear masks indoors and in public. Now, we know back in May, the CDC said fully vaccinated people did not need to wear a mask or social distance inside or outside in small or large settings. At this time, the decisions represented the boldest step in America's march towards normalcy following COVID's assault on the country and since March of 2020. Ron, quite a significant change. Of course, we continue to follow updates on the international scene as it actually affects the rest of the region here.
Of course. Viewers, we thank you so much. It's been a jam-packed newscast, of course. We will see you tomorrow with more local, regional, and international content. A happy Wednesday to you. I'm Ron Grant.
My name is Javon Wilson. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.